Hey everyone, I just wanted to take a few minutes and go over the final exam with you so that you'll have an idea as to what's going to be on the exam. Just a couple things up front about the exam. The final exam, much like our midterm, is going to consist of 5 short essay questions. It is a forced completion exam. Basically what this means is that you must complete the exam once you enter it. You cannot save it and resume it later, okay? So this is a forced completion exam, so make sure you pay attention to that. It will also have a maximum of 2 hours to complete the exam. And so what I want to do here is go over the questions that will be on the exam so that you will be able to perhaps draft a response to each of these before you have to sit down and take the exam, okay? One final note here, the final exam is due by the end of day Friday, April 28th, 2017. Okay, so we're getting really close to the end here of our time together, and I really do appreciate everyone's hard work. And if you have any questions about anything, feel free to give me a holler before our course officially closes. If you have any questions about your research paper, feel free to email me or give me a call or whatever it takes so that you can finish strong in the class. Okay, so let's go over the questions. The first question is, describe the major taxes used to fund California's governmental operations, and approximately what percentage of the budget do each of these taxes represent? So a couple things here. Describe, that means tell me a little bit about the taxes. All right, so don't just list them, provide me a little description. And then approximately what percentage of the budget do each of these taxes represent? So for this particular case, I would suggest that you review our smaller textbooks, the California Politics textbook by Van Vechten, and then review chapter 8, the chapter on the California budget process. And there you will find a couple good figures, and you will also find a little narrative about each of the major taxes used to fund California's governmental operations. And that will give you enough information that you will be able to describe it for me for this particular question. Okay? So again, describe the major taxes used to fund California's governmental operations and approximately what percentage of the budget do each of these taxes represent. All right? Next question is, how do AFDC and TANF differ? So for this particular question, we're going to be talking about Chapter 15, which is health and welfare. Okay, so here we're talking again, Chapter 15 in our bigger textbook, the Smith and Greenblatt textbook. And that's going to be covering health and welfare. And so AFDC is aid to families with dependent children, and TANF is temporary assistance to needy families. So basically TANF replaced AFDC. And so here you're going to be asked to look at what are the differences between the two. So you're going to describe each, and then you're going to highlight the differences associated with between AFDC and TANF. Okay? So again, that's going to be from Chapter 15 of the Governing States and Localities textbook, the one by Smith and Greenblatt. And you can take a look at that, start researching that. Okay? Next question is, briefly explain what is meant by cap and trade. What is its status in Congress and in the states? So here you're going to be looking at our Governing States and Localities textbook, and this is going to be on Chapter 16, the Environment and Climate Change. You'll be able to find out the status in Congress and in the states in this chapter. All right, so make sure you discuss both. Use what information is in the textbook. You don't have to really do any additional research. I would just use what the textbook has as its status at the time that this publication went to print. Okay, so what is its status in Congress and in the states? So make sure you address these, because in the past sometimes students forget to do that. All right, so that's that question. Next question is, you're supposed to write a history summary of Prop 13 and explain what impact it had on local government, financing in general, and education in particular. What are the pros and cons of this proposition? Do you think Prop 13 should be repealed? Is it even possible to repeal? And again, this you'll be able to find in Chapter 8 of our California Politics textbooks. Again, that's a smaller textbook. That information is going to be there. I think it usually starts about on page 123, 122 in that textbook. Okay, so you're going to write, again, the history and summary of Prop 13. So this question has several elements to it. So you need to make sure you address each of the elements. So you're going to have to write a summary and history of Prop 13. You're going to have to explain what impact it had on local government financing and in general and education in particular. So you're going to be discussing both local government and education and the impact Prop 13 had on each of those. And do you think Prop 13 should be repealed? And is it even possible to repeal it? All right? And Prop 13 had to do with property taxes in California. And that was back in 1978 when property taxes in California were skyrocketing out of control and getting exceedingly high, and an initiative was put on the ballot, Prop 13, and it passed. And it really threw a monkey wrench into the financing of local government and in education in particular. And strangely enough, at the time that this measure was passed by the people, Jerry Brown was governor. And he and the California legislature didn't address it, and so the people did. And so it's been something that California's had to deal with ever since, right? So in terms of public financing, this proposition had a huge impact on local government and education in particular. So again, it has several elements to this question, so make sure you address each of those elements. The final question is define gentrification. What are the advantages and disadvantages of it? And here you're going to go back to our Governing States and Localities textbook, and it's going to be on Chapter 12. You'll find about gentrification. And gentrification is taking place currently in some big cities such as Los Angeles and in other cities in the Bay Area, and it's having a significant impact on people. I mean, what you'll find out as you research it. So give me a good answer on that one as well. Okay, so those are the questions for the final exam. So hopefully this helps you in terms of your ability to give me quality work. So again, make your responses thorough and comprehensive. Illustrate to me that you show me what you're talking about, right? Don't give me the Reader's Digest version if you can. Give me something more definitive in your responses. Go into a little bit more detail so you can get you can ace this final. All right. So again, take a look at this again if you need to. But if you have any other questions, by all means, please don't hesitate to contact me. And I hope this helps you out. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.